especially on the England side of the ball, there's box office players. I think we talked about it in the preview this morning, but Toby Phillips scored. I'd be very surprised if it was top the score that he pulled off yesterday, and he's busted out some new yellow boots for this one. So keep an eye out for number 7. He's last through the tunnel. It's going to be a cracker, this one.
And just describe that try for anyone who hasn't seen it. There has been clips on social media, but so, I will leave it to you.
I'll be a storyteller. So England down to 5 players actually. So they even score with a man less. Toby runs a counties play with his winger, which is really unusual. And it's a play that he had no right to score off. He steps infield. 3 of the French players collapse and give him no room to move. Toby comes off his right foot and sees a French player low down on the floor, tight space. He does a front flip over 3 players and finishes off the score. It was pretty special. England straight into a sweeper with Toby straight away. He skips to the outside.
Oh, what
Jamie
a start.
Dots it down. Big score from the English.
And that is making a statement straight from the off, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's with using the danger man. We've just talked about him in the build-up, but he comes round on that tap-off move, sweeper play, skips to the outside of the toucher, creates that 3-on-2, creates that decision from the defending Welsh link, and he's got Jamie Ironside hitting a nice hole from link, and it's a good start.
So Wales have 6 inches from the tap-off, and they're
good dive,
threatening the line.
So on the Welsh side of the ball now, Dan Roberts, former men's open captain, number 10. He'll be one of their strike players, especially in that pod that Wales have got on now. But England have forced a penalty. I don't think they've stepped over the ball on that one. And England will just make their way to the box now. So we'll get a little bit of an idea of what England's transition looks like. We've been looking out for it with other teams, and it's something to look at, especially in the mixed game. So England will hit one to the middle, and it looks like they might be going into a 4-man. They're going to get that penalty.
Yeah. Player going to ground there, Danielle Evans.
What England... I've been talking about some of the male players, but England have 2 really strong female links. Danielle Evans and Anna Crossley are both NQ Rebels players, really quick. Keep an eye out for them, especially on line attack.
And England right on the line again.
Hill on the outside.
What a great pass, but a fabulous take by Megan Pemberton. And England are 2-0 up with less than 2 minutes played.
Really good start, looking strong. It comes on a counties play, head up, 4-on-3, right option, right hand pill over the top to the winger. Great score.
And it's been a great start by England. And this thing, they knew this is probably going to be a challenging game for them, and they've really come out of the blocks at 100 miles an hour.
Started really quick, and Wales obviously only had that one line attack, so could have been an intercept from Harry Goldman there, and he's checking his fingers are working. So Dan Roberts back on now. We'll see what Wales got with a full set of 6. They'll should get 3 strikes on the English line here. We'll see what they've got. They started with quickies. They're going to go straight into a sweep play, and they run it. They're going to look for those options. And I think the referee's calling a touch.
Touch was made.
So that's two down already. First strike is a sweep, and Dan's gone out to link now. He'll come on the sweeper. Watch him to pick up on this one. No, QB. Ball down. He's called him offside. Play through, and Wales have pulled one back.
Yeah, Wales needed that. I think after such a strong start by England, I think Wales getting on the board, it'll give them the confidence to know that they can get the ball down.
So get a little bit of a sense of what Wales like to run, especially with that pod that was just on with what I would say their danger man is with Dan Roberts, and they like to run those sweepers. He likes a QB off it. He likes picking up. If he's at half and he's got a sweeper coming round, that's something to look out for. Toby on that sweep again. Oh, he looked for the same play that they got the opening score off, and it wasn't working that time. I think Wales did well to take away Toby's outside, and they really didn't give him much room to run, but they forced an error again. And Josh Ingram, the England captain, will pick that up, and England will go straight back into their line attack. Toby's got a little bit of space on that outside for a punish, but doesn't like the look of it.
Yes, fresh set of 6. They've had one touch.
And across, they'll run it this side. They'll come back with a long Ingram off his left hand. It dips and it's a little bit too short. Wales looking a little bit more lively on that line defence there.
It's Wales who have the ball. They're going to go to the sub box and make changes. Good high defence from England, though.
Both teams' transition looks fairly similar, and they'll look to get a strike play on 5th there. They'll tip back inside. He was looking for a 33 dump there, a 33 scoop, and it was just poor skills. But England will reply with their transition. They'll tip back in with Anna Crossley, Daniel Evans driving in, and then we're going to work our way to the strike.
Just held up in the middle.
Yeah, and Wales have got it back. They had a lot of space on that right hand side. I thought they were going to break into a bit of a punish play. It's a little bit of a tendency of some of the England players, and I thought that's what they were going to break into, but Wales will be happy with that. It stays at 2-1.
Yeah, Wales really come back into the game now.
Good.
And
he's got
great
that
drive.
Dan Roberts likes to pick up. I think if he looks back on that, he'll be harsh on himself. Maybe not harsh on himself, but I think Dan really likes picking up from half, and he's dangerous on it. I think when he looks back on this footage, he'll know that he probably should have squared the toucher up, kicked to that short side, carried on going to the left, and I think they would have seen a bit of joy off that. Wales looked dangerous in that transition. Then that's the positive I would take from that.
Thanks, England do. Great drive forward so far. They're up to the 7 metre. It's final touch.
That's great.
Diving through now.
Great.
Was it down?
It's called no touch. Good honesty from the Welsh middle, but that's really nice work. 2 hot custard teammates linking up there in the middle, and it's a little bit of a hot custard pod that just went on there. I think all 4 middle players then were a hot custard teammates, but it's a middle scoop and dump. He'll step back inside, and then it's a beautiful middle cut. Great dive from Harry Goldman as well.
Just fooled the defenceman as well, because he was going to the left hand side and had to immediately change to the right.
Yeah, I think Wales might have thought at one point then we've locked this up. We've kind of stunted this middle scoop, and they managed to pull something out of the bag. So a little bit of a different attacking pod for Wales now.
They're trying the long pass, but gives the ball back to England.
It seems that James Enion is the go-to strike player in that pod. Maybe he seems to be the one that wants to run the strike plays, and they did create a little bit of space on this side. So if they've got a pill over the top, they might be able to exploit that.
Great speed shown from England as they
straight through,
and
that's
it's
beautiful.
Down again.
That's really nice.
There's Megan Pemberton again, who gets free and has the easiest job of taking the ball and putting it down.
Yeah.
And England lead 4-1.
Yeah, good speed from Tom Lawton-Davies. Tom Lawton-Davies is looking sharp coming off those 32 pickups. Obviously the first score is going over the top. This time he's going straight through, and he's looking really sharp. When England get the tails up on their transition, they look really dangerous. Watch for Dan to pick up here. No, he's given off. That's good. This is what my thinking here. If Dan is at half, I would be thinking he's going to pick up. So that might be the reason why England were a little bit loose in the middle here. He actually gives the sweep, and that's why this middle channel opens up a little bit more. That I could be wrong on that one, but that's what I would be expecting from Dan, and he fooled me there. So no, it was a nice play, good setup, and it's a good reply from Wales. They really needed that.
Yeah, Kieran Evans putting the ball down from the dive, but it's England who come straight back from the tap off, and the bit of space has opened up. I think the touch was made though. So
we've got the hot custard pod on now, and Kendall Fry at the female link on the right, Dan Mayall left link here. See what they've got. They're playing around with them a little bit. They've pushed themselves back at the 7. That's 5th touch. Harry Goldman worked his way into a corner there, and they'll be disappointed with that. But Wales will be really happy with that last couple of minutes. They got a score. They've D'd one out. We're a quarter way through the game now. 2 scores behind. If they can pull one back here, 4-3 looks a lot better for Wales.
And that was good D as well by Wales.
It was.
They committed players over to that right hand side that gave England no space to play into.
They took away quite a few options for them then. I think England were looking for those 23 platforms, and it looked like Wales pushing England back out the 8 metres, 9 metres, 10 metres, not letting them really set up anything. It caused them a few problems there. So Dan Roberts back on. He'll look to get himself to half. That was beautiful. He's given the torch. He'll be really gutted with that. That was a beautiful setup. Nice little bounce playing. He gets himself to the outside. That's a great pill over the top. What a pill! He's got that in his locker. But going back to that play, nice little bounce play. He gets a 3-on-2, and Fry makes that a great touch. But yeah, what a score. Great score, and he's got that in his locker. It's a bit of a static play. Kicks to the outside, right hand pill over the top. Awesome. Wales will be really happy. Last 2 or 3 minutes for them. They've got themselves right back in this game. 2 good defensive sets, 1 good attacking set. We've got a good game on here, but Toby back on that sweep.
Diving through.
I think the link made that touch.
No,
I think that,
it's given.
I think Wales will feel hard done to there. It looked like the middle was offside, and the ref was calling play through on the touch in middle, so he's calling him offside. It looks to me the link does make that touch, number 2. Anna Melmoth steps in and makes it with the left hand. I think unless the sideline ref is calling her offside, obviously on the footage there we couldn't see if she had made the line, but it looks to me that was a good bit of defence from her. Wales will come back with a reply.
Good take.
The referee was calling play on. That normally would mean play through. One of the England players is offside, so you don't really want to give Dan Roberts a fresh set of 6, and that's what England have done. He's taking it! He's gone! He's
looking around as
he's good.
Bursts through.
Slowing it down. I think some of his teammates will realise he's got 3 days to go.
Great take. He did well because he had a lot to do once he tapped it up into the air.
I was just thinking that the amount of times we've seen that in the past few days where somebody's tapped that up and it's kind of gone away from them, or he's not been able to find it in the air. So to actually obviously D them out, and for Brad Murphy to be able to tip that up to himself and have the concentration to be able to finish that off is really good.
So Brad Murphy, who is the latest try scorer for England,
he's taking a few deep breaths on the sideline there.
Yes,
I think Toby is as well actually, but he's not really done much for the last 10 minutes.
Great pass.
What a ball!
Pass onto the inside, and Kendall Fry takes it, and they high five, and well they might. It was a great pass inside.
I tell you what, Harry Goldman is a very handsome man, and that was a very handsome pass. That was lovely. He's held the play up so well, and the hot custard pod are when they get in a bit of a groove, they look like like you would expect, like they play together all the time, and they're looking sharp.
So Wales, after coming right back into it, suddenly find themselves 2 down again. They almost.
So Wales, what you see there is Wales digging into their playbook a little bit more. They've run the sweepers, they've run a little bit of a variation on it there. So it's what's called a QB. So the sweeper comes round, he receives the pass, he tips straight back, so he's at his half that's giving him the ball, and that should give you a little bit of a space outside the saving middle. They did create a little bit of space. They just weren't able to execute.
England.
Morton Davis is looking really sharp here. Every time he picks up the ball at speed, coming off his right hand, coming off his right foot, Wales are just all over the place. They can't handle that speed when he's picking up. And they'll go back to those 23s with Daniel Evans. Really dangerous off it, but Wales have defended it well. I think she took a little bit of a stumble there, but yeah, watch Evans on the right hand side, female link. She'll look to get a quickie on her opposite link. She does not care if she's opposite a bloke, she'll still beat him.
It's a good defensive set by Wales so far, though.
That's what England have at the minute. That's what's separating them. Their female players are just, it's like playing with 4 blokes in the middle. Oh, what a play! I think he's given the touch. I'll tell you what, great play, great D.
It was indeed.
Nice little follow play. It's a really good variation on what England have been running. So they go over to Evans again. She splits to the outside for that punish play. Then she'll step in off the ball, and that's where that space is created. Ooh, that's a tough call. That's a tough call.
And Wales have used their set of 6. England start again, and I think this is another thing that is setting England apart in this game, is the way that they are driving from deep in their own half.
Yeah.
They're getting up to the other end so quickly.
Yeah, they look really good. They've got into a bit of a groove here, and they're looking really sharp. Hot custard pods on, great pill over the top. Just died off a little bit.
I think if you're Wales, you've got it back to 4-3. You've got within 1. And then all of a sudden England, and then, bang, they're away again.
Bang, 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 and it's the game's gone away from them a little bit. They've still got 5 minutes here till half time. If they can rescue it a little bit, and we know they can do it, they've got the players to do it. I don't know. It seems to me that Wales have just had to work a little bit harder for their scores, and obviously, like England's scores, they've had some really good ones, and both teams have dug into their playbooks a little bit. I think Gabe Pennington and Justin Conway might have a little bit more up their sleeve if they need it.
It's Wales driving through. They've got to the 7 metre. The England defence
Good middle
firm now,
they've got them running a little bit here. If they can hit that hole, they do, and it's back to 1. Daniel Robertson's going to throw it on touch 1. That was back. Oh, it looked to me that was back to 1. Sorry, I thought one of the England players touched it in the flight.
Start again from their own 7 metre.
Good yards from England, and that's what we were talking about yesterday with the transition. There's things that you want from your subbing, and if you can get a repeat set just because you're driving so hard, that's a win. You'll take that. Josh Ingram will take some yards up the Welsh box and make his way down to the 7. He's got a couple of attacking threats here, Toby being one of them. He gets on a 33 counties, he's in behind his man, he's done that so well. Oh, that's a leaf out of Ryan Meanchak book. That is one of England's greatest ever Opens players, who's playing for senior mix today. He stepped in behind the touching player, so the Welsh defender then he has next to no chance to get onside before Toby can get it down.
I know, standard try from Toby Phillips.
Yeah, that was a bit boring. Yeah, if I'm honest, it wasn't really.
Yeah, expect a triple Salco with Pike or something.
Yeah, wasn't too much to shout about. Disappointing.
It's Wales who are making yards from their tap off. They're back to the 7 metre as the England defence again holds quite firm. England
have been really sharp here, especially the last 10 minutes. They've been, like I said, ever since Wales brought it back to 4-3, and they look like they pulled themselves back into the game. England have just been ruthless. Every time they've broke into their transition, they've either scored or got a repeat set from it, and then scored off that repeat set. They've been pretty clinical.
And
good.
Oh, that's a good.
Wales back in it. Good.
Yeah, really good try.
Yeah.
Good quick passing.
Yeah, it's just a middle quickie, similar to what Toby ran before. He's not got in behind his defender. Sorry, it's a 33. It's a 33 counties, so he's got on his other middle, but he's got to the outside of the saving defender, and the England link has got a decision to make, and he's decided to step in. The Welsh attackers has executed that well. 8-4. If they can defend this set out, that'd be huge for Wales.
Long pass comes in,
and they have defended it. So that's big for Wales, and they've got a minute here. Hopefully they'll get some comms from the box. If I were Wales here, I'd go into a 4-man drive, blow England off the park, but they're going to work into their sub-in, so they should get a good strike on England unless this midfield D steps up.
Good years old, and
they've coughed it up. Yeah, they'll be disappointed with that. Not only that, they've given England 30 seconds here. It's not a great deal to play with, but England might get a good shot on the Welsh line. They might get one play.
Yeah, there is communication coming from the England sub-box. You can see that
I wouldn't expect anything less from Gabe Pennington. He'll keep his eye on the clock, but it's just come a little bit earlier than I thought it would, and England haven't been able to get anything from it. So 8-4 to England as we go into half-time.
So the match living up to the hype that we gave it beforehand. 12 tries in that half, 8 for England, and Wales really came back into it. Came so close at 4-3, but then it seemed to flick a switch in England, and they just ran away with it. Then
that's what the good teams do. They can ride that storm. England started strongly. Wales came back, and there was a good little back and forth from a bit. Like we were saying, it was 4-3. We had a really good game going, but England just turned it on. Like, they were great. I think there's players that are standing out here for England, and I think the hot custard pod are. Every time they're on an attack, they just look sharp, and Wales are finding scores difficult to come by. They're able to do it. It's that line defence that they just need to shore up a little bit, and a little bit on midfield. England's transition just looks so fluid, and they're really looking good.
Seeing the highlights of the half here and some of the tries that both teams have been scoring, but that was great, just bursting into the end zone and then the pass coming out.
So a staple of the Welsh attack is those sweepers, and they've got a lot of threats on at dummy half with Dan Roberts, and when those sweepers are coming round, they've got players that can execute those dives really well, and there's some really good stuff here. This little bounce play, they didn't get a score off it, but that was nice. I'd like to see that again, because they caught Harry Goldman on his heels there. I think he probably owes Kendall Fry a beer for saving him there, but Dan Roberts just decided to get it back and rip one to the wing, and that's been really pulled them back into the game.
Yeah, that was what made it 4-3, but then England were just bang, 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 and it was all of a sudden it was 7-4.
So good, and we built him up before, but Phillips is having a really strong game here. He's set a few up, he scored a few himself. This was the intercept, and like we were saying, the concentration to tip it up to yourself, regather, and then finish it off. That's something worth noting, because the amount of times we saw yesterday somebody would flick up a little bit of a bobbled ball and it'd get away from them, or they'd lose it in the air. That was great.
This one, nice little pass inside. Down it goes again. Still England weren't finished.
So this is what I want to see in the second half. Daniel Evans running those punish lines. They didn't get a score off that one. The ref called the touch, but that was a beautiful play, and that's something that Gabe Pennington will have got them running quite a bit. Their assistant coach this week, he unfortunately picked up an injury in round 3 of the men's NTS. Former teammate of mine, really experienced player. If he was out there today, he'd be having a field day, diving through the middle. But what he'll be offering now is just invaluable coaching, and those types of players, those little follow plays, they'll be something that he'll be loving. Obviously, they didn't get a score off it, but he'll love that they created something off it.
that Welsh try was finished the scoring for the first 20 minutes. 12 tries in 20 minutes, and it shows the quality of these two teams, and they rightly come into this game both unbeaten. England want to set down a marker, obviously, but Wales certainly not letting them have it all their own way.
Yeah, definitely. I think you're right about the wanted to set the marker, because France looked strong yesterday. They had a really good game against France on field too. So it isn't just England, Wales in this division. France looks sharp, and I think these three teams will have a little bit of a back and forth. It'll be interesting to. I think I would back England to be in the final on Saturday. It'll be interesting to see out of Wales and France who makes the final out of those two.
And Scotland top of the group at the minute. They have played one game more. They're also on 4 wins and just the 1 loss. Jersey in the mix as well there.
Yeah, Jersey. They weren't. I don't think they were at the last Euros. But when I first started playing mixed open, and I played mixed open for England for 10 years before moving to men's open, and Jersey were always the top 2, top 3 team in the mixed open category, and they had some really sharp players. So it's great to see them back this year.
Yeah, and it is Wales who start us off, and they.
Murphy looking for that full length intercept again.
No juggling that time, unfortunately, as Wales have the ball on the 7-metre line. They'll be wanting to get the score early on to put pressure on England as well, because even though they're 4 down, they're not going to feel they're out of this at all.
No, not at all, especially if they can get a score here. So they'll look into those sweepers again and they'll run them. Oh, that would have been lovely, the diving pass. And it's interesting to see that they haven't gone into much progression off that sweeper yet. I think they did run a QB in the first half, but yeah, it's interesting to see that Roberts hasn't looked to pick up and go against the grain yet. I've been looking for that a little bit later in the game, but England back into that deadly transition that they've got.
Quick passing, they're just not completed though, and teams feel their way back into the game after a 5-minute break.
Yeah, it was an interesting one from England. That I think I might have lost the count there. I don't know if it was me or the ref, but oh well. We'll not go into that. It looked like England only got to 5th touch, 5 or 10 metres into the Wales half, so that put them under a bit of pressure to actually get something from it. If Wales can keep up that midfield D, then that'll help them massively. That's 1 box ticked for them, but obviously that's a lot of effort, and that's a good touch there. Good strong touch from Josh Ingram. So Wales will make their way back down to the 7 now, and they'll look to reply now. So this will be their strike play. They'll go into those sweepers again. This time they do pick up against the grain. Short side, wingers free, down.
Yeah, and that is the score that Wales wanted. They've opened the scoring in this second half.
That's what I was looking for before when we're talking about progressions off that sweeper play. This has been their attacking move, those sweepers. That's the first time that they've picked up and gone against the grain on that scoop, and wingers free, dots it down. Got a game on.
Great play by Emilia Gracciarola.
Yeah, really nice. Looked really sharp at a dummy half and picked the right option. Hot custard pods back on now. Yeah, they'll rip it back inside for a long. Good D. Really good D. Yeah, Anna Melmoth again. She's done that a few times now. She's been able to step in and help her middle out. Obviously in the first half she was adjudged to be offside. I'm not sure if she was. And England will break the way into the same move on the opposite side. That might have been forward. No, sideline ref gives it. Great score.
Really good score as England strike back straight away. They get their 9th. A great long pass across the line.
Yeah, really nice. Good patience from England. They ran a punish play on the right hand side and ripped long infield. Anna Melmoth saving it on this near side for us, but they just remained patient. Ran the same move the opposite way, and that's where the space came from.
Wales diving through again.
Call him offside again.
Yeah,
got a little bit of a shootout here at the minute, and I think from an England point of view, you're not going to be that disappointed that it's a bit of a shootout because you've already got that four score buffer. Obviously, Wales, you need to be making a few stops, and they're not able to do that. And especially with Phillips back on at the minute, I need to stop inflating Toby's ego because it's too big as it is. Josh Ingram will look to reply with a pick up against the grain. What a pill for Josh Ingram!
And the pattern, he's given great pass out to the left-hand side. Watch this again.
Beauty.
Ball comes down the middle.
Toby on the sweeper. They're worried about the sweep. Josh picks up against the grain. Pill over the top. Outstanding.
An almost carbon copy of the 9th try.
It was, yeah. It's the like we're talking about. It's the progression off that sweeper. If you're worried about that sweeper coming round and you've got a dangerous player at half that can pick up and throw, then why not? QB from Wales. Great score. Great reply.
It is. I think that's the fifth of this second half, and
so
we're
again,
not even 5 minutes in.
Again, we keep talking about those progressions off the sweeper. This is another one. Sweeper comes round. This is a QB play, so the sweeper's going to give it straight back to his half. England have tucked under a little bit too tight, and that's why Dan Roberts is outside of his saving middle, and that's where the space comes from. Oh, good D.
Touch is made in the corner this time. England have been successful with the past two drives where they've got it over to the left-hand side and scored. Wales learning though, and that's part of the game as well, isn't it? It's really cutting off those options.
I tell you what, that was good on both sides of the ball there. It's a play that England were running before and they keep getting joy from. It's a punished play. A half will turn back in field to throw long, but this time Harry's gone the next progression off it. He'll come off his right foot and go back to the short side, and the Welsh winger has sniped that so well. No touch from Harry Goldman. Wales would be really disappointed with that. It was good flow.
It was looking to be a really strong drive. As you say, it was flowing really well. They got over to their sub box, made the changes, and they was looking to strike in on the line, but unfortunately the error has given the ball back to England. 10-6 England lead. Wales by no means out of this.
No, not at all. Like I said, they'll be really disappointed that they've given away a no-touch space on the outside for England. They're going to go. That was interesting. England so running that fly play on as they're coming on in transition. They had a lot of space on the left-hand side. It would have been nice to see them exploit that, but Wales happy that they've not conceded after that no touch, and great take. They'll break into that fluid transition again. Slow down a little bit. Hopefully they can regain a little bit of momentum here, and Roberts will go straight back into a counties play. He'll come off his left foot. Great dive. He slams the ball down.
It was a great play by Dan Robertson. Great dummy as he managed to change his direction very quickly. Really
nice. He's great as a live player when he's getting that ball. He's good from half, but when he's got that ball in two hands, and he's great on his feet. He stands people up so well. And yeah, Josh Ingram's he's gone behind the line there. He's got to get off the line, step up, and put Dan under a little bit of pressure. And because Robertson's got nice and low, it's a great dive. Ball.
10-7 England lead. So England Wales coming over halfway.
Wales' transition's looking much better as we get throughout this game. Looking a lot more dangerous. They'll get to the outside. Space! What a pill!
Oh, it was so close.
Wales will be getting a lot of positives from this. Even though they didn't score, then their box was clapping, and they were, they're looking a lot better as this game goes on, especially in that transition. Touches 4 and 5. If 1, 2, and 3 is good for Wales, and England don't put them under a great deal of pressure as they're coming off and on, Wales look really threatening as they come on, and that's really good to see, because England have got that in their locker as well, and here they come with their reply.
Oh, and it's an error, and that's going to give Wales the ball back, and Wales just got the momentum at the moment.
Yeah, Tom Holland-Davies will be disappointed with that one, because he looked really threatening in the first half, coming on that 32 pickup, and he wasn't able to finish it then. Robertson on the top, what a pill!
Oh, brilliant! Brilliant. Amy Reese really taking that well.
That's right. What a ball over the top. I keep going on about him, but he's having a blinding game here. So dangerous coming out of half, picks up against the grain. It's actually a pick up against the grain on the doggies play, so he's even got further to throw, and yeah, he's having a blinding game.
Wales coming back again, they're within 2. And we said they weren't out of this.
Nah, top game. Phillips on a sweep, off his right foot, down low, good touch.
So now it's about the Welsh defence. If they can hold out here, get the ball back.
That's the first time that they've forced Phillips to step inside off that sweep, and they'll get a penalty here, I think. Yeah, they will. You don't want to be giving Toby Phillips 6 touches.
So 6 touches for England here.
The thing that they've got here, they've got a good balance of speed, execution, and scoring ability here with this pod that's on at the minute for England. Josh has just proved that he can pick up and throw from half and across leash. That's a big touch. Inside, Ingram, Crossley. They go on that punish and rip to the other side, and Wales have survived another, and their box is up at the minute.
That was really good Welsh defence though, because they gave England nothing to aim at, and in the end they essentially threw the ball away.
Yeah, the thing is, at the minute, England aren't going too much into their playbook, and I don't know whether that's on purpose, and maybe they're saving a few things for Saturday. I wouldn't be surprised if they are. But here comes the Welsh transition. Oh,
just beyond reach of Amberley Ruck.
Yeah, there was a little bit of an opening there. Josh Ingram did well to force Wales to come back into that middle channel. James Enyon he had a look at the outside of him and wanted to come back in off his right foot. And England will just work their way up the field now with some good yards.
England.
And they'll look to run those strike plays now, and that's a great touch. And it's a lot. Yeah, they've lost possession there. Wales have done that a few times now. Where they've gone maybe not a tiny bit heavier, but yeah, they've put the England player under a little bit of pressure. They've forced 2 little incompletions at the ruck. It's getting a little bit edgy out there now.
And that's the thing, England under pressure now, with the game so close, and just a few errors creeping into that game.
Yeah, a little bit. They've not been in this situation really yet, and Roberts will do what he does best and pick up from half. That was an interesting one. That I thought the space was outside on the short side when he picks up. He does come off his right foot, and there still was space. There's things opening for Wales here, and I think they'll be really happy. There's space on the right here on that punish play. Oh,
now was the touch made? I think it was. Yeah.
Again, Wales looking to step back inside, and I would just like to see them test England's outside edge at the minute. Really interesting this.
Good diving through.
Gets underneath Harry Goldman.
Got
what
it.
a dive.
They're within 1.
Woo! Owen Carroll has got a mega dive. He's a tall lad, but he's done to Harry Goldman what Harry Goldman does best, and it's a nice low dive. Comes off his left foot. He nearly drops to his knees a good 3 metres out. Gets that right hand nice and low, and he's got under, snake in the grass. Beautiful.
So Wales within one.
Just doing a quick score check. Toby Phillips off his left. Good D from Wales. They're locking up Toby and Josh really well here. This is really good to see. Like we were talking about, like you said before, like touch is about learning quickly about what England's your opposition tendencies are, and fixing them quickly straight away. Wales are doing that on the fly, and it's England are going to have to start digging into their playbook here. Got a great game here.
So
Phillips.
We do apologise. We've been calling the score wrong. It's actually level at 10-10. So it puts an even greater emphasis on this game.
What Wales are doing really well on line D, and it's Anna Melmoth again. She's sniping these plays that are coming towards her edge, and they've been caught offside a couple of times, but she's saving them from potential scores. England, what a play! Oh, put your glasses down, what a play!
England in the lead by 1, 11-10. And it looked like nothing was really on there.
Anna Crossley, it's a little bit of a punish, but they go on the middle. She stands up her link, skips to the outside. Josh does really well to hold the ball up.
What a game.
What a game this is.
But this has been a fantastic display by Wales. They were 4 down at half time.
Yeah, Roberts picks up from half, Pill off his left. Touch. What great defence. Great attack, great D. Great game. Dan Roberts counties. They come off his right hand. Over the top. Big Pill. What a dive. What a score.
Amy Reese puts it down.
Pill City.
We're level again. 11-all.
Huge pills. We're having a pill off. Dan Roberts is having one of the best games I've ever seen him play. What a ball over the top. What a dive as well. She's diving as she's caught it. What a game.
And this is what we wanted. Both teams coming into this game 4 wins out of 4, and there's nothing between them with 3.5 minutes left.
Oh!
Drop the ball. That's going to give it back to Wales. You see, frustration for England, joy for Wales. They've got a lot of work to do to get it back up the field from here, but they're more than capable of doing it.
England haven't been in this position before, where they've been under this pressure in this tournament yet. I know it's only day 3 and we've got till Saturday, but great touch from Josh Ingram. Hunting him down, and now they've got no momentum on 5th. Wales will look to generate something, and they've not been able to. That's a mega touch on 4th, that. So what Josh has done there, Wales are trying to get some momentum for a 5th touch scoop or a 5th touch option. By Josh making that touch, Wales have had to generate momentum from a static play. A good 20-30 metres out from their own line. Good D from Wales.
2.5 minutes left.
Custard
England on the attack. There's space over
on
on the left hand side. It's taken.
Great
it's down.
Pill.
England take the lead again. What a game of rugby!
I talked about it before. And the Custard crew back on there, and they're just exploiting space. It's a little bit of a slow fly play, and that's really nice.
2 minutes remaining. Wales with 6 from the tap off.
This is who I'd want that on there for Wales. Dan Roberts. He might pick up here. Oh, it's a fresh set of 6. That's a big decision, that. So this will be interesting now. Dan's gone out to link.
And they're coming over to the left hand side.
Plays back to 1. So with Dan at link now, they've got a few options. And obviously, earlier in the game, Owen Carroll, number 8 on the ball now, he's got a mega dive. So he might run into those 2-man plays early on and test England in this little channel here. Now they might go out to Dan Roberts. It looks like he's calling something. They might run into a bit of a counties play because that's what's given him success. Fire up maybe. Yep. Oh, That's a little bit of a wasted touch for Wales for me.
There's
They do
space
go into
now on
that
the right.
side.
Oh, great defence by England.
England
when they
defending
have
as well.
when they have to be.
Oh, it's a forward pass. I think it's a touch pass. Oh, Wales have wasted that.
1 minute remaining.
Oh, they'll be devastated with that.
Now, do England drive for the line, or do they try and play the clock down?
I think you've just got to drive forward. You've got to go hard, and maybe not 100 miles an hour. That's a loose. Oh, they've given Wales another shot.
She knew as well.
Yeah. So Wales have got 45 seconds. I think this pod that are on at the minute, you can't afford to sub off. You've got to go. You've got to go. You've got to go. So I'd go into a 4-man drive. Just keep this pod on. But you've got to get to the line quick. You've got just over 30 seconds. I want to get Dan Roberts down to the line as quickly as possible. Give yourselves a couple of shots. Right, now you've got to go into your plays. Wales have got 2 strikes on the England line.
So it's the Wales attack against the English defence.
Sweet.
Which one will win out here?
Oh!
It's a loose pass.
I think
And that has probably given the game to
it
England.
was a miscommunication. Wales were looking for another progression off their sweeper. And the gap was there. Oh, what
There
a
goes
game.
the hooter.
Josh will just kill it off, I think.
And there's the touch. Oh, an incredible victory for England. But what a performance by Wales in the second half to come back and almost get a draw out of the game. And it was a game worthy of the 2 unbeaten teams in this group.
Yeah, I mean, it's a shame that wasn't a final.
It may well be.
It could be. Let's hope it is, and let's hope it's the exact same game, because that was awesome, absolutely awesome.